What's up, everyone? You are listening to Beyond the Ring podcast. I am Tejas, and it's Wednesday night, and we know what that means. And this is your AEW Dynamite review, guys. Before we get into this review, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. And let me know your thoughts on the show in the comment section below, guys. So let's now get into the shows, and we first kick it off with Bobby Fish versus CM Punk. This was a really good match, I would say, or pretty good match at times. Pretty good to near good, I would say, for me, because I don't know. Bobby Fish is kind of a superstar who takes time to kind of hit the chemistry with anyone if you have, because I have seen we have seen some matches of Bobby Fish, but he's an very impressing, you can say, but he's somewhere good, you can say, somewhere he's pretty good to watch, I would say. And the match, in this match, I would say the one thing that stood out for me was the selling that CM Punk did, and the selling that he did, the knee. That was the story here. The knee selling, taking out the knee by Bobby Fish was the story. So that was perfectly told by both of them, and the comeback and felt important and felt very good to the story, I would say. And it was a good storytelling rather than a very good wrestling match, I would say. And yeah, it was fun, I would say. Fun, pretty good match to begin with. It was nothing bad or something. Yeah, fun watch, I would say. And next we get to MJF versus Bryce Donovan squash match. Nothing there. It was just to MJF getting to the mic and MJF just hating on the crowd. And this was Boston crowd, and that means hating on Boston, Massachusetts. That was the duty from MJF this time. And this guy, even though this guy says anything about the crowd, man, but this guy is listening to this guy is so much great, man. I mean, this guy's money on the mic. And imagine if this guy jumps on to WWE at some point of time in future. I can't imagine, actually. It could be huge. It could be a huge move for MJF if he moves to WWE. But I don't see if he would be getting used like this at WWE. Let's see, man. But it was a good segment, I would say. A really good fun segment where they were getting into MJF versus Darby Allin match for the full gear. And they have Darby Allin came up. I mean, they had a prank kind of thing where the lights go off, and the lights finally goes off. And when lights goes off again, it's going to be Sting or Darby Allin. Sting comes up and attacks everyone, and then Darby Allin comes up, and Darby Allin then takes out one of the, I think so, a Wardlow with the spears, with the skateboard thumbtacks. That was a nice touch by Darby, using his skateboard. That was cool. So great segment, I would say, and really did well with this. Well, with this story, I would say, and getting into the end result, that is MJF versus Darby Allin. That was cool. Next, we get to Sammy Guevara versus Ethan Page for the TNT Championship. Good match, I would say. Yeah, good match. Felt kind of long for me. I don't know. Felt out of touch at times, but Sammy Guevara is really fun to watch, and not my very very favorite guy, but I think this guy is very fun to watch. Sammy Guevara is doing a good job with TNT Championship, but I don't know if it's on the level of Miro, because Miro was just great, man. He was on whole another level, I would say. And it's not that matching with Sammy Guevara. Obviously, he's not a heel; he's a face, cheering face. So that's there. I think so, but the match was good, I would say, but nothing very amazing or something. It was a nice, I would say, nice to good championship defense for Sammy Guevara, and we didn't think so Guevara was going to lose here, so that was there. But anyway, it was a good watch, but felt somewhat long at times. It was a 13 minutes match. Could have been cut short, I would say, and some aerial maneuvers that he did was fun to watch. So that kind of the character work of All Ego Ethan Page was also good. So that actually was good for this match, I would say. Next, we get to Chris Jericho Inner Circle segment, and we had Scorpio Sky come in and this was just to set up the as Sami Guevara won and he is still in inner circle, so they kind of set up the 10-man tag team. This is not elimination. Jericho didn't say that, so I guess maybe it would be interesting if it goes to elimination. And yeah, and they're going to have this they set up the match, they set up two matches from this. So there were a lot of storyline, can say, touch points and finale touch, kind of, you can say, what we are getting to when we are going to Full Gear. So that was the thing of this important thing that we got from this whole show, which is really good at any weekly TV show, because you are building to a pay-per-view. So that's great actually. So this segment also done this thing. It was fun, it was nothing bad. It didn't take too long, I would say, and we didn't have Dan Lambert, thank God, so that was good. Yeah, but we had Serena Deeb versus Hikaru Shida. Before that, we had Lucha Brothers challenging FTR. So that's another match that's getting finalized for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Lucha Brothers versus FTR. I do think that Lucha Bros should. My first thought, I would say that I want FTR to become. I did thought that they should have been the champions right now, and then Lucha Bros getting that would have been great. But yeah, let's see how it goes, man. But next we got Serena Deeb versus Hikaru Shida, TBS Championship Tournament match. There's another story to it. Hikaru Shida first lost the match against Deeb. It was her 50th win, so she was going to get the 50th, trying to get the 50th win again against the rival Serena Deeb, who she actually attacked her. So the match was really good, I would say. The work that both of these women did was very well, I would say. Not a great match, but Shida was somewhat, I would say, there was not a botch, I would say, but there was some mistakes, kind of chemistry missing, kind of. Deep was perfect, Deep was really good. Technical wrestling knowledge is so sound and so great. And yeah, I thought Deep was more perfect than Shida, but yeah, Shida got the victory here. Post match, Deep actually attacked Shida relentlessly. Refs comes up, Jerilyn comes up and kind of breaks it up. So quite a great character change for Serena Deep, and she's pure heel right now. She's not jumping over heel face. Yeah, first she was like that, now it's not. So it was a really good match. Yeah, I really liked the match. Yeah, the tournament bracket now sees that Shida is going to face Nyla Rose, and she has her knee injury, so maybe that could play the part of the story. And maybe Shida not get into advance into the tournament. Let's see. John Moxley versus 10. Nothing to say. John Moxley just destroys this guy with bloody. He actually destroys him to the ring post as well. He was just bleeding out of his head. So I didn't like the way, actually. This wasn't like John putting over John Moxley or something for the world title or something. This is a championship tournament bracket, you can say, eliminator tournament. You should not do squash match, because this should be competitive. Even though 10 is not a big star or something, but Dark Order is fairly good booked faction, I would say. They do lose, but they win as well. So I think they should have given some offenses for 10. They just give elbow to the side of the head for John Moxley. That was the only offense that 10 got, and then he just got destroyed. The ending was good. I mean, the ending made sense. That they could have given some offense to 10 and then actually weight him the shit out of him, and then kind of, yeah, I'm not saying that 10 should have got the victory, surprise victory or something, but they should have given something for 10. Just have a squash, because we have two squashes in this episode, so that kind of hurt this show, I would say. The MJF match and this match, so this match shouldn't have been like that. But yeah, John Moxley advanced into the tournament. Next we get to FTR interview. So FTR was also, they are also saying that they are going to finish Lucha Brothers. They are going to defend they are going to take the tag team championship. So pretty basic stuff, can say. And next we get to Andrade El Idolo and Malachi Black Cody segment. Cody says that he is not going to turn heel. So kind of lost we can say erasing the kayfabe manner, and he just said that he's not going to turn, just like fans are telling him to turn heel. So he's just going to do what he believes, and he loves fans, he says. And Cody comes up, and then lights go out. Malachi Black comes up. So Cody, Malachi Black, then Park comes up to help Cody. So I think Park, Cody versus Andrade, Malachi Black, that could be the setup for the Full Gear, I guess. It could be a great match, I would say. Could be a great tag team match to the card is forming to be a really good, really great card. Yeah, I'm very excited mode to Full Gear, man. And yeah, the next match we had the main event, the Elite, Kenny Omega, Adam Cole, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson versus the Dark Order, Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, Cole Cabana, John Silver, 8-man tag match. Fun match, very fun match. It was more of Halloween costumed, all of them. Uh, and Stu Grayson, like Kratos, kind of taking shot to the can say Tommaso Ciampa, I thought. And there's also another shot that they took, Britt Baker versus Anna Jay, I think. Yeah, I don't know who, Anna Jay. I think I don't know what match it's confirmed, but Britt Baker is going to defend the championship against in Rampage. So it's trick or street fight. I can, yeah, the same stipulation that Raquel Gonzalez and Mandy Rose had in NXT Halloween Havoc. So they are going to have a great match, I guess. So they're going to kind of we are going to have a better match than you guys. Kind of, yeah. I thought that this means very perfect. The timing feels very perfect. So I thought about that. The match, getting into the main event, guys. This match was very fun, I would say. Nothing very serious wrestling. It was all types of goofy things. But the ending, we had a marshmallow costume where Hangman Adam Page comes up. Hangman Adam Page takes out one of the Jacksons. I think it was Matt or Nick, I don't know. But after the match, the crowd chanted cowboy shit for Page, and he celebrated the Dark Order. Dark Order got the victory here. I thought the Elite could be getting the victory, but Hangman Adam Page is got the victory here. I like I'm liking the way the face is getting cheered and face is getting but I need to they need to do something because with the story, because Page has said that he lost the confidence, so he should be coming back from that and kind of hurting his confidence by Omega. Kind of a one-on-one situation, not involving Elite every time, but yeah, it can involve at times, but not involving every time. So kind of a attack or something in the ring. Yeah, some personal thing that he could do could make this story very real. Good, I would say. So this was a show, guys. A really good show, fun show, I would say. Stories were touched, I would say, and the matches were made for the full gear. So that's a great point. The whole show was really enjoyable, I would say. Yeah, nothing very bad or something apart from the squash. They could have avoided the MJF thing. They could have, and they could have really avoided the Dark Order, the 10 versus John Moxley could have been a bit longer. So that's there. So that's it, guys. I hope you like my review. Tell me your thoughts as well in this on this week's Dynamite if you have watched it, and let's see you in my next review. Until then, be safe, stay energetic, and guys, peace.